Welcome to a new episode of Who Is.
You give away a lot of money. How much money do you think you've given away?
Definitely like north of 10 million, like more than 10 million.
I almost have a heart attack. Oh my Lord. No! Are you serious?
Who is Stevewilldoit? Stevewilldoit is done. He is fearless, he is daring, and he is Steven DeLeonardis, or as many know him, Stevewilldoit. Steve started his career as that guy who would do and say almost anything. From illegal gambling to excessive drinking challenges and illegal substance use, Steve has done it all. People enjoy his content, but when it got crazier, Steve got into trouble, and that trouble may cost him everything. What happened to Steve? How did he go from making his first YouTube video in 2012, which showed him attempting the cinnamon challenge in his friend's backyard, to becoming the go-to guy for controversial content? This is the untold story of Stevewilldoit. Before we go on, don't forget to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button for more content like this. And let us know who you want to see next in Who Is. In the beginning, Stevewilldoit was born on August 26, 1998, in Oviedo, Florida, USA. He was raised alongside his two siblings, Rocco, his brother, and Brianna, his sister. For most of his childhood, Steve was a typical child. He went to high school, competed in bodybuilding competitions, got a girlfriend, and went through the typical teenage party phase. As a bodybuilder, Steve was jacked, and as a result, he became popular. So, other students invited him to many parties while he was in school. He usually went crazy when he was in a party, and so he got the reputation of an energetic party animal. Steve was the guy who did the crazy, weird, and intense stuff at these parties. He smoked and drank, among other things. At some point during this partying phase, Steve noticed people really loved his lifestyle. So, with that knowledge, Steve decided he would be important and do more with his life. Between 2016 and 2017, Steve saw a pathway to get that internet fame he wanted. He began creating content on Instagram. By April 2017, a friend of his, Alyssa Wilson, created an Instagram account on his behalf named Stevewilldoit. Even then, Steve was crazy and soon became crazier. He went extreme and embarked on a path of indulging in feats of endurance for the sheer entertainment of others. From guzzling down bottles of hot sauce without using his hands to munching on tortilla chips topped with chewing tobacco.
I started like back in high school. I made the page Stevewilldoit, and I remember my first video was like, it was just eating and drinking videos, but the first video was like a cup of hot sauce, like a cup of eggs, and a beer with no hands. That was like the first video. So I did that for like a few months and gained like 600 followers or something, and then I stopped for like a year, right? So Stevewilldoit was just dead for a year.
He seemed determined to subject himself to bizarre challenges. Yet, despite the spectacle, his fans remained fascinated, leaving them wanting more while he grew in fame. First steps to fame. Stevewilldoit became more popular than the average teenager with his posts. However, when he was 19, he was on another level. Steve took his first step towards global fame. He had gone through a downward spiral which could have easily landed him in prison, but more on this later. Steve was shrouded in controversies, and in an attempt to get out, he kept posting videos doing wild things suggested by his followers. He posted that people request things for him to do. His posts were consistent, but only to a few hundred followers. Regardless of his low number of followers, Steve did not stop. He believed he was going to be successful. He was right. In one of his videos, Steve chugged an entire bottle of Jack Daniels in his driveway. Kyle Forgard, who was one half of the YouTube channel Nelk, saw the video and had an idea. Nelk, by 2018, was already one of the biggest YouTube channels, and he had over 1 million subscribers. Known for their viral pranks, The Nelk boys embraced a lifestyle of recklessness, heavy drinking, and fast-paced partying under their brand and slogan, Full Send. When Kyle stumbled upon Steve, he recognized a kindred spirit and knew he'd fit right in with them. Just months after their first DM exchange in late 2018, Steve made his debut on the Nelk channel in a video titled Drinking in Lectures Prank. Steve quickly captured the hearts of Nelk fans with his infectious smile and willingness to go to any lengths for a laugh. As he played larger roles in subsequent videos, such as We Completely Ruined a Wine Tour in Italy, where he famously chugged a bottle of wine and crashed across a table, shattering glasses along the way, his popularity soared. Within a year, Stevewilldoit amassed a whopping 1 million followers on Instagram, primarily through his exploits in underage drinking videos, riding the waves of fame and controversy. Yes, you heard that right. Steve dared the law. According to the law, Steve was underage while he was busy making videos of himself chugging entire bottles of alcohol. It was a lifestyle many disapproved of, so it is no surprise that Steve soon became engulfed in controversies. However, there's something about controversies. They sell. After hitting 1 million subscribers on Instagram, Steve saw the writing on the wall that he was too big for the Nelk boys and started his YouTube channel, which he named Stevewilldoit. The crazy guy created the Stevewilldoit YouTube channel on May 30th, 2019. Thanks to the devoted Nelk fan base, he gained over 415,000 subscribers within the first 3 days. His first video skyrocketed to the #1 trending spot on YouTube. Unlike the typical Nelk vlogs and pranks, Steve kicked off his channel with extreme and potentially risky drinking and eating challenges, mirroring his early days on Instagram. From consuming 4,500 milligrams of THC edibles to attempting to devour 30 burgers at In-N-Out and tackling the world's largest marijuana joint, he dove headfirst into outrageous feats. Within a month, Stevewilldoit hit the remarkable milestone of 1 million subscribers on YouTube, cementing his status as one of the fastest-growing channels in YouTube history. To most people, Steve first had to deal with controversies after he crossed this milestone. That wasn't the case. Steve is no stranger to controversies. Just 2 months after launching his Instagram career, when he was only 18, he got arrested in Florida. He faced charges of having marijuana, using drug equipment, and driving with a suspended license. His Instagram presence vanished for a while during this time. Then, a few months later, at 19, he got arrested again, this time for intending to sell marijuana, having drug equipment, and resisting arrest. He ended up on probation, and as a matter of fact, he was still on probation when he joined the Nelk boys, even when he was seen partying and chugging bottles of alcohol. Steve had a terrible relationship with the law and continued to dare it. His attitude would cost him later, and we'll soon get to that part. Steve's content was not in any way the advertiser-friendly type of videos that YouTube wanted on its platform. This made him an easy target for demonetization and the dreaded YouTube warning strikes from the very start. It wouldn't take long for all his videos to start being taken down by YouTube for this same reason. Even with the extreme success his channel experienced early on, it didn't make sense to keep uploading videos just for them to be taken down just a few days later. More than entertainment, philanthropy, and influence.
I gave a $7 tip. She was so thankful. So I had to give her $100, and they were jumping with joy. Your guys' reaction was crazy, so I was like, I thought in my head, okay, I'm gonna give them $10,000.
Oh my Lord! But you changed our lives, like literally. Oh my Lord, the bills that I have, now I have to pay them. Like, this is crazy.
Every video Steve made was an investment, and these videos needed to stay online. YouTube's move to constantly remove Steve's videos meant that he was losing more than he was making, and he needed to re-strategize. In 2020, a new Stevewilldoit was introduced. The new Stevewilldoit changed lives and began a positive influence. He has shifted from his wild challenges to a style similar to Mr. Beast on YouTube. He began gifting cars and jewelry to friends and family, donating thousands to single moms, buying cars for war veterans, and giving money to hungry kids in needy areas. He even handed out $100,000 to strangers in Mexico. By now, Steve had distanced himself from the Nelk boys, moved to Miami, and bought a $3 million penthouse, which meant he couldn't appear in all their prank videos anymore. Despite the character pivot, YouTube didn't like Steve's presence. While he did generous acts, he also smoked, partied at clubs with rapper 6ix9ine, and gambled in his videos. Although similar music videos showing such lifestyles are fully monetized on YouTube and attract millions of views, Steve got in trouble for them, business ventures and investments. Due to the issues the Stevewilldoit channel has with YouTube, it has not been making money for Steve. So, how is Steve making all his money? As erratic as Steve might appear in his videos, he is an incredibly smart guy. In 2019, Full Send launched Stevewilldoit branded clothing, which, according to reports, Nelk made $50 million on the Full Send merchandise in 2020, with a possibility of reaching $70 million in 2021. Steve likely earned a substantial share before distancing himself from Nelk. He also helped launch Happy Dad Hard Seltzer, which had high demand and led to quick sellouts in liquor stores, potentially generating tens or hundreds of millions. His sponsorship with the crypto casino Roubaix in 2021 turned his gambling addiction into a major source of income. With the internet buzzing about Roubaix, Steve saw significant financial gains from the deal. The story of Stevewilldoit represents the two positions in life. He represents hope for other creators that it is possible to grow at a ridiculous rate and become a top content creator. It also represents the ugly side of the things creators need to do to stand out. What do you think? Did Steve do more harm than good? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for following us on this journey. Subscribe, else you need to drink a bottle of Jack Daniels with Steve in 2 minutes. And let us know who you want to see next in Who Is.